PCOS, anyone? Weight loss, diet, and lifestyle. Welcome to Be Fab, Be You Made Simple, your daily dose of inspiration designed to help you reinvent yourself by optimizing your body and mind. I am Maria Horstman, a health editor and coach, a fitness trainer, a speaker, and an entrepreneur, founder of BeFabBeYou.com. Our episodes are short and will bring you valuable content and practical nuggets for optimal health and fitness that you can implement ASAP. Let's get you to feel fabulous every day. Are you ready? Check out the show notes too. 1, schedule a free call with me to discuss a plan to take your health to the next level. 2, submit a question to be featured in our Ask Me Anything episodes on Sundays. Connect with me on social media and much more. Hit the subscribe button, and if you like what you hear, share with your friends and leave it a rating. PCOS, anyone? Weight loss, diet, and lifestyle. Hello. Welcome back. In today's episode, I will continue to discuss Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. I will focus on weight loss and diet specifically. And that is because, 1, I target episodes to average 15 minutes in length. Trust me, I can speak for hours on these topics of PCOS. 2 is I don't want to overwhelm you. I share practical nuggets so you can implement ASAP. Remember that you do not need to have PCOS to benefit from the information I'm about to share. That is specifically true if you want to shed some weight, ditch some fat, reduce cravings, balance your blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and improve your overall health. Check out the transcripts of this episode for sources and resources at befabbu.com/podcast. If you have PCOS and want to take a holistic approach to improving your health and your condition, get on my calendar. Schedule a call. It is free. Go to befabbu.com and be ready to rock and roll. I'm ready. Women with PCOS are told over and over to go on a diet and lose weight. At times, they are told to lose weight first and only then return to the doctor's office to get additional treatment. This is crazy. Telling a woman who has a genetic disorder and predisposition to gain weight is not a good advice. Does not work. Weight loss is a challenge for most people regardless. Women with PCOS have additional hormonal imbalances that make weight loss much, much harder. These hormones that I'm talking about are insulin, androgens like testosterone, and CCK. And I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name of the thing. You can look it up. CCK hormone is chylocystocalcium. You see, cannot do that over here. So anyway, let's talk about these 3 hormones for a minute, okay? So excess insulin causes the body to store more fat, especially in the abdominal area. It increases pro-inflammatory cytokine protein levels. And often when there is an excess of insulin in the body, cells will become insulin resistant, which you hear me talk often about it. In that case, the body, especially our brains that consume about 20% of glucose, will start screaming for food. Excess insulin will stimulate the production of androgens. And high levels of androgens cause what? Acne, irregular periods, body hair growth, and weight gain, of course. So all these are problems that women with PCOS have. Now, what is this CCK? Well, it's a gut hormone released after a meal, and it helps digestion and reduces appetite. Research shows that women with PCOS have reduced postprandial CCK secretion, which is post-meal CCK secretion, and deranged appetite regulation associated with this increased levels of testosterone. So impaired CCK secretion will play a role in the greater frequency of binge eating and overweight in women with PCOS. In a nutshell, high levels of cravings aren't only due to insulin sensitivity, but also due to CCK imbalances. Sounds challenging or what? Okay, so let's talk about diets. Diets don't work, okay? Or they work for a very few people. Just go around and ask. It's mostly unsustainable, but yes, a few folks do that. Whether a person has PCOS or not, this is a challenging task. I personally don't do diets. I used to, of course, like every other person in the world, especially if you're a woman with, self-esteem problems, confidence problems, always thinking about the weight. Yes, I was one of those. And I haven't met a single woman with PCOS who hasn't tried numerous diets. So this recommendation of go on a diet and lose some weight, it's just insane. Some diets get people to lose some weight, but most of the women gain the weight back, unfortunately. The yo-yo diet is not helping, and instead is causing the body to hold on to fat more. Plus, the research shows that yo-yo dieting may increase insulin resistance. I know, what a circle of not so much love here. In addition, the research shows that dieting is a precursor to what? Eating disorder. I bet you didn't know that. And that between 20 to 25% of typical dieters will be diagnosed with an eating disorder. Another research indicates that the prevalence of bulimia is increased among women with PCOS compared to healthy women. No good here, folks. Holy cow, right? You may be asking, Maria, can you give me some good news here? Any strategy that I can follow that will help? Yes. Let's talk about that. And I would like to talk about diet component, and I'm going to touch on cravings again. So let's start with diet. Instead of following a diet, work towards building your nutritional template. That's what I call. Assure that you are eating enough during your meals. Fill that plate with whole, real, colorful foods so you get plenty of micro and macronutrients. These micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, right? Phytochemicals and so on. Do your best to balance your macronutrients, which are your carbs, protein, and fats. By doing that, it will help reduce the cravings as well. When it comes to foods, and I talk about carbs, I'm referring to real whole vegetables and fruits. I'm not talking about processed carbs. And I would love for you to consider your plate being at least 50% raw foods, like vegetables uncooked, right? Nuts and seeds and things like that. Studies have shown that women with PCOS respond really well when consuming low glycemic load index carbohydrates. And the low glycemic, you might have heard about it, and is generally, referred to the carbs because that's what raises glucose and insulin. And this table, let's say, let's name it, was created to help manage blood sugar. So that's why low glycemic. And there is a difference between a low glycemic score and a low glycemic load index, okay? So these types of carbs that are low on the index, they digest at a lower rate and cause a gradual rise in blood sugar and insulin instead of going up very fast, and shooting down all the way, which is going to trigger cravings as well. The lower a food's glycemic load, ideal below 10, is the less the effects on blood sugar and insulin levels, meaning that you'll be able to control it better. So examples of carbs with low glycemic foods are, let's talk about fruits, berries, peaches, plums, apples, tomatoes, grapefruit, and actually grapefruit juice as well, as long as there is no added sugar, right? So read those ingredients. On the beans and legumes, awesome. They have, examples are hummus, chickpeas, which hummus is made from chickpeas. Pinto, navy, green beans are some good choices in that area. And then amongst the vegetables, all leafy greens, go at it. Mushrooms, avocado, which is also rich in, protein and fats and all that. Avocado is my favorite, or one of my top favorites. Anyway, broccoli, cauliflower, onion, celery, asparagus, summer squash, zucchini. Look, there's lots of foods that you can eat. Don't feel like you need to be restricted. These foods are not only yummy, but they're also filled with nutrients that are going to help you suppress the cravings, that are keep you full, and you can sparse those meals throughout the day, eating maybe 2 or 3 times a day, depending on your schedule and all that, but really to help you regulate your blood sugar and insulin. I must remind you that everyone is different. You are not like me, and I'm not like anybody else. So unless you're measuring your blood sugar, you will not know for sure whether the consumption of these foods that I mentioned are low glycemic to you, whether they're going to spike or not your blood sugar. It's less likely because this is based on average of folks, but there is a chance that they will. So that's why when I work with folks, I love to guide them to keep track of their blood sugar. And there is strategic ways that we can do that. And I teach that during my programs. So notice that I didn't mention over here in this glycemic foods, animal protein and fats. And that's because they contain little to no carbs. However, it's important to note that excess protein converts into sugar. Yes. And many nuts like cashews and macadamia, they contain quite a bit more carbs than the other nuts and seeds. And so they will potentially have a moderate impact in your blood sugar. Obviously, the amount that you eat over here has a big say. I'm not saying that you're going to have to deprive, that you cannot eat foods with high glycemic. No, it's just a matter of them learning how to combine in the quantity you're going to eat. It's not about depriving, but it's really about over here having a sense of what your body needs, where your body is at, and apply good techniques to help you manage this. Check out the link to a large database of foods with carbs that you can search for as far as glycemic index. Let me also share with you that I recently came across some content on PCOS where many American women with PCOS claim that when they lived abroad, they lost weight quite rapidly and with ease. And many of their PCOS symptoms lowered. They're like, wow. Now, what happened when they returned to the US? They regained their weight and the symptoms were back in their lives. Heck, look, I gained a lot of weight when I came to the US, almost 25 years ago. I did manage to lose the weight over time, but yet I don't have PCOS to complicate the situation, right? Am I suggesting you to move to another country now to improve your PCOS? No, I'm not. Although if you can, why not, right? Go ahead, go at it. Maybe go to Brazil and improve. Don't do what I did. Hey, I love my country, love the US. So it's nice to have 2 homes, I guess, sometimes, right? So what I am insinuating, though, is that the quality of the foods and how processed they are in the United States might be part of the problem. And that might be one of the reasons that you hear holistic health practitioners like myself say, hey, focus on organic foods. Hey, look into pasture-raised poultry. Look into grass-fed meats, and so on. And we also say, hey, eat whole foods, real foods, not processed. So that's one of the reasons that you're going to hear us say that. So let's jump into cravings. If you know my story, you know I was a sugar addict and had insulin resistance, prediabetes, and I suffered from eating disorder for many years too. I had other problems too, gastrointestinal issues and so on. I had cravings most of every day. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. Okay? This was serious. There are a few important strategies that I would like to mention to you in managing your cravings. 1, assure that you're well hydrated. I sure wasn't. 2, assure that you're eating balanced meals, as we discussed earlier. I sure didn't. Cravings are signals. The body is speaking to you. Listen carefully. Have a dialogue with it. What do you mean with that, Maria? Ask yourself, am I hydrated? Did I eat enough? Did I eat foods rich in nutrients? Did I sleep well? Did I eat late at night or the night before? Did I drink alcohol? How much alcohol did I drink? What's my stress level? Did I exercise or maybe over-exercise and I haven't replenished my body? Did I take my supplements? Yes, I didn't talk about supplements here, but there's many supplementations that have shown great deal of results for women with PCOS. And of course, for other women too, like myself, I take supplements. Look, I want you to take a step back when you have these cravings and have this conversation. See what's potentially missing over here. See what you can do, because there is always a way to improve. And if you're not sure, do some research. Seek help from healthcare professionals, from health coaches, fitness trainers, whatever. I'm here for you. You can do this. It's one step at a time. Be patient with yourself. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. When it comes to PCOS and lifestyle, there is a lot to cover. I will touch on many topics about PCOS in this podcast, and that's especially because most women with PCOS have insulin resistance, an imbalance that I'm very passionate about helping men and women to solve. For now, I encourage you to do 2 things. Track your nutrition and assess areas you can improve by adding foods with low glycemic loads. Refer to the list in the database link that I gave you earlier. 2 is take a look at your budget and find ways you can increase the consumption of organic foods, especially when it comes to vegetables and fruit. So that's it for today, my friend. Stay tuned for the next episode. I'll be talking about fat and metabolism. So exciting. Remember that I'm here for you. When you're ready to transform your health and fitness, book a call at bfabbu.com. Let's do this. And if you have any questions, by the way, shoot me one at bfabbu.com/podcast question. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing this information with your family and friends. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the BFABU Made Simple podcast. Can you do me a favor? If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and leave it a rating. It helps the podcast and I really appreciate it. If you're wondering where to start, head over to my website, linked in the show notes, to sign up to receive encouragement, tips, and strategies to maximize results. While you're there, download a free health guide to get you started today. If you're looking for a coach and trainer to help you optimize your weight, body, and health, get on my calendar. Let's discuss your goals, establish a custom plan, implement it, and celebrate your results. Together, we can do this. Find the link to schedule a free energy audit strategy session also in the show notes. Connect with me on social media. I would love for you to let me know that you're listening to the show. Also see the show notes for the links. In addition to a qualified healthcare practitioner, it's important that you have someone in your corner who is in for you and will help you to plan and stay on track implementing your goals. Are you ready? Let's rock and roll this boat. I will see you on the next episode of BFABU Made Simple. Just a reminder that this podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast is not a substitute for health care by a doctor or other qualified medical professionals. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.